Land back, y'all, and welcome to Hard Targets. I'm your host, Chief Chim, representing the colonized nation of Mexico and the Zapotec people down south in Oaxaca. I use he him pronouns and serve as the editor-in-chief for the Black Hammer Times, the department that's bringing you this series. So let's go ahead and take your introduction, co-host.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm so elated to be here. My name is Chief Heran, Comrade Heran. I'm Rep Korea, and I use they, she pronouns. We are hosting Black Hammer's anti-colonial news show. This is Hard Targets, and the Empire strikes hard.
But we strike harder. So I want to thank y'all again for coming to the season premiere of our show. This is Black Hammer Organization's weekly show that delivers you razor sharp, no BS, no bullcrap, anti-colonial news. Because y'all already know these colonial media outlets be lying to our faces, y'all, straight up lying to our faces. But yeah, first let's go over what Black Hammer is. Who is we, right? What we about? Black Hammer is the biggest, baddest anti-colonial revolutionary organization in the game, y'all. We are made up of poor and working class colonized people, united under 4 principles of unity. First principle of unity, we believe the colonized proletariat should have dictatorship over our lives, land, labor, and resources. Second principle of unity, we believe all colonized proletariat are equal, no matter gender, sexuality, age, skin tone, body type, location, religion, language, mental or physical differences, and/or bi or multiracial identity.
The third principle of unity, we believe that all the problems the colonized face are from colonialism and the submissive neo-colonialists that are within our colonized nations. And principle unity 4, we believe that the colonized proletariat is the only true proletariat. Only through our leadership can white power, capitalism, colonialism, imperialism, and all of its symptomatic offspring be smashed. We know your daily consumption is saturated with white power's propaganda, but here we will laying down a direct anti-colonial counter to this BS colonial news. We're not here to sugarcoat any part of the tragedies and the events that happen in every moment of our lives. Our lives are poised for ceaseless rebellion and victory. White power thinks it can control all narratives and fashion them into support for a colonial world order. But this is not going to happen on our watch.
Exactly. Beautifully said, Comrade Hiran. Let's go ahead and give it a few seconds for people come in the room. So you looking lovely today, Comrade Hiran. By the way, amazing look. Flawless as, thank you. Flawless as always with you, though. So sometimes I'll be
the hair piece, the mane is so luscious. Out in full force today, I see.
I didn't have any hair product today. I'm sad. I thought I did, so I had to go with some oil, and it's doing its best. Don't judge.
They look lustrous. No, you don't need product, Chief.
Thank you. But yeah, I guess that's a few seconds. That's good. So Black Hammer has lots of projects, y'all. Besides all the lit shows and events we regularly hold, we are building, y'all. We are building while the colony, the empire, the illegal nation we know as America is crumbling. And that building is Hammer City, a city with no rent, cops, Rona, or best part of all, colonizers, them white folk. So let's see what's up with the. Let's go ahead and head into our fundraiser.
Yes, this is our first fundraiser, y'all. We are building Hammer City. This is our magnum opus. This is our biggest project. This is the baddest project. This is a project that will change the world if y'all will fund it and if we can materially actualize this. We are building a direct material counter to the white settler colonial state model by developing Hammer City. We're going to show colonized people all over the world that safe abolitionist communities are not only possible, that they're needed, and they will succeed, and they can save so much avoidable suffering that our world is going through right now if we can unite under these 4 principles of unity and colonize unity. We do not need to continue to suffer at this hand of this worthless, incompetent state. We can build our own futures, beautiful, safe, sufficient futures. We can restore our land. Donate now, y'all. I want to see these donations start trickling in. We have a goal to meet tonight. And if y'all want to hit these targets hard, I would like to see some Want to see a little
We already
something?
got our first donation right there. $50 in reparations. That's right. Let's see them reparations too from the colonizers, them white folk. Y'all's his ancestors. Y'all know what they done. So pay up, y'all. Hey, another
Thank
$15.
you.
I'm not gonna try to pronounce that. It's too much work. But thank you. Thank you. Amazing. We are actively organizing y'all to get against the root of all our problems, colonialism. Yes, $25 from
Thank you, Chief
Oju.
Oju.
All right, thank you so much.
Doing amazing work.
Ooh, all right, Yabe, Chief Yabe, thank you so much, and get them Yabe always be coming through with those reparations, always. That's
From a
great.
euro.
We need to get on Yabe's level with the other comrades. Thank you, Chief
Chief.
Amaricha. I'm gonna cry. Y'all gonna make me cry with all these donations coming in. I like it.
Honestly, 5, 10, you know.
Comrade Amanita, okay, thank you, Amanita. That's that. Shout out to Amanita, Cali chapter.
Another 50.
Ooh, okay. I think we're gonna beat our goal today. I think we're gonna beat our goal. Our goal is $300, but I think we on our way. We might have to set the buy higher. All right, thank you, Madison. That $5 go a long way. It do. Recruit 11. Thank you for those reparations. Well, really, that's what you should be doing. So again, let's see them reparations. All right, we got it. That's right, for sure. Another $10. I'm loving it, y'all. Y'all don't want to get free? Where them reparations? Where them funds? Where those y'all? If y'all got weed money, y'all go and spend money on Starbucks. Go and eat out at McDonald's. Instead of doing that, fund your liberation. Fund the liberation of all colonized people worldwide. $5 from Bear. All right, Sergeant Bear. Okay, that's right. Thank you so much.
Sergeant Bear.
We love to see it, y'all. It's that liberation that we coming to get. Any means necessary.
And these lives, you know, these are really important. A 300 is our goal, but like this 300 is so much. This means so much. And so if y'all could just, you know, slide over the weed money, the lunch money, the coffee money, the nicotine vape money, whatever, you know, $20, $10, $5, we love it all. $4, you know, our CIC's favorite number, 4. We could do like do something with a 4, anything. Oh, thank you, Chief of Fanny. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, from the Cali chapter itself. That's right. We're going with the Cali chapter coming for the world, y'all. Don't think we not. $10 from Frederico. Okay, Frederico, thank you. You funded the liberation of all colonized people. And we doing it, y'all. We doing the damn thing. Ain't nothing stopping us. Nothing at all.
Chief, did you want to talk about, you know, what you wanted to do in Hammer City, that, you know, these like aspirations you had?
I think we'll get into it the next fundraiser to really get the people pumped. But that's right, we see a pledge. Y'all can pledge too if y'all ain't got the funds, because we poor working class colonized people. I feel it. I be broke most of the time. We all broke. You can also pledge that money, y'all. So let's go. Whatever it is, $1, some cents, it all goes to the liberation of our people, of all colonized people. But let's go ahead and get into it now. First topic, we hidden the world map, and we start with Asia, or West Asia, what these colonizers like to call the Middle East. So, and isn't really Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has been ousted. Benjamin Netanyahu has been ousted after multiple elections held in the illegal settler state of Israel by the Bennett-Lapid coalition, a group of different political parties coming together to finally kick Netanyahu out of power. So y'all, if y'all ain't heard yet, the genocide of Palestinian people is still ongoing. You feel me? Just because it ain't on these colonial news outlets anymore, don't mean it ain't happening, y'all. So, but before we get into what's going on the ground, let's dive into what's been happening in the offices where they run this illegal settler colony. We're going to talk a little bit about that Bennett-Lapid coalition. It's a group of little colonizers coming together to get Benjamin Netanyahu out of office. A sellout has joined the ranks, though. His name, Mansour Abbas. And you know, this really shows our third principle of unity, y'all. Sellouts just be trying to make change within the system, trying to go through the system, same as here over here in the United States and around the world. So, but all they doing, y'all, all this sellout trying to do is really just sell out the people, line them pockets with money, and again, selling out their people for profits, for whatever it may be, for these crumbs from the white power state from isn't real. So it's really just like Palestine, it won a battle, y'all, but they still fighting the war. Don't forget that, y'all. They still fighting the war.
Exactly, Chief. Yes, land back. Palestine is fighting their war, and they will win, but they need our support throughout the very end. Palestine continues to dominate and to fight for the liberation, but we have to support them staunchly until there's literally no trace left of Israel from this planet. That parasite must be eradicated in entirety. It's a rotten project. That parasitic state, it's just a project, and it was there to disperse Western propaganda and interests into that region. And I want to talk more about how Palestinian resistance fighters are crushing Western imperialism on the ground. And as the manifestation of the world's greatest evil, Israel continues to bomb Palestinian communities every single day, but they are also greatly depleting whatever funds they have at the moment that the US tosses to them in intervals. Groups like Hamas have been strategically setting off Israel's disgusting little Iron Dome. They've been setting them off with cheap missiles, only a couple $100s, but these intercepting missiles coming from the dome, they cost about $40K each, and so we're drying them dry. We're letting them run dry. We have to let that filthy beast run dry. We're going to make them bleed out into the dust. This is one strategy among so many of the others that these Palestinian resistance fightings are utilizing, and I hope that all of them succeed, and we hope that all their bullets hit their mark. We have nothing but unrelenting unity with the Palestinians as they take back their homeland and culture. Death to isn't real.
Yes, that last line that hit, that be hitting. And y'all heard Kamad hit on the $200 missiles against $40,000 missiles. That's the power of colonized unity right there. There were demonstrations worldwide in unity with the Palestinian people and their just struggle, which will overcome that illegal settler colony. That nasty isn't real. So yeah, that's what's happening. Colonized people worldwide, taking back what's theirs. We gonna take the world by storm, and it's happening right now, as you saw with Hammer City. That we ain't stopping with one. So just stay tuned for more and what's to come. That's right.
Definitely. And Black Hammer Times does have multiple articles, about 2, 3, 4, on this struggle. And so please, check them out if you'd like to.
And if you want, you can also go ahead and join the Black Hammer Times, write for us. You don't have to join. We'd love to have that brilliance though, but you can submit. You can always submit an article, whatever's grinding them gears, whatever it is. Y'all can do it. Y'all are revolutionary writers. It is you that will bring about this revolution, and tell the people that it's them as well, the leaders of this revolution, that it will be them and only them to bring about that liberation for all colonized people.
Next up on this segment, speaking of genocidal sellout regimes, this summer is the 2021, or they're actually keeping it at just 2020, but it's the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. Japan goes forward with the Olympics regardless of COVID. During a COVID state of emergency and embroiled in financial scandal, Japan decides to go forward with the Olympics, as expected for the Japanese government to put their money and image before the lives of their people. Well, so when you fly to Tokyo to spectate on these games, you can not only witness the European countries and the US collecting their gold medals by using their stolen wealth to gain advantage, but you can also catch yourself a hearty case of COVID, because this pandemic is raging on and Japan is currently under a state of COVID emergency. The IOC and the Japanese government are shackled to the $30 billion and counting that they have spent on this development, even though that there's been reports of COVID sweeping through the ranks of officials and also the athletes that are there. Like so many Olympic Games in the past, this Summer Games is laden with also other forms of controversy, not just COVID. A couple of days ago, a 36-year-old chief accountant in the Olympic finance community, he jumped in front of an oncoming subway train on his way to work in the morning. It was discovered that 3 days earlier, another person working in the committee went on TV with their face covered and exposed massive embezzlement and misuse in the financial committee. They alleged that some officials were being paid more than 100K a month. For what? At the last Japanese Olympics, there was a scandal over how Japanese officials were showering IOC officials with like $15 million worth of activities and fun and gifts and games. And it's so cute to see the Japanese government relishing in their bribes, embezzlement, and suicide scandals per usual, as their people suffer from a mishandled pandemic. And let's not forget that the Olympics as a concept, as an event with its history, is a fundamentally exploitative and money-mongering tactic for colonizer-centric international peace building and collaboration. But none of that is actually real because it's completely colonizer-led, and it has been ever since the end of the World War II. Colonizer athletes, when they're playing in colonized nations, they have this gruesome history of enacting sexual violence upon the communities that they come to in their typical fashion, colonized men doing what they do know best. Also, the amount of medals a nation received is merely correlated to how wealthy these nations are. In total, the US, Germany, the UK, and France have the most medals in history, but I wonder how these countries got these medals, and they got the wealth to train their athletes and to buy the millions of dollars worth of specialized equipment, including the $12,000 shark skin swimsuits that the U.S. swim team uses. They're only one-time use as well because the scales wear off. It's not sustainable, is it? And of course, there's also, America's swimming team is dubbed the asthma team because all of them are allegedly have asthma and they're getting, heavily medicated beforehand before their performances. And so we can only imagine that the Olympics is unsalvageable. Japanese government is unsalvageable. What do you think, Chief Chin?
Yes, Heiran, you hit that target hard as heck. I love Oju's comment right there. Even the metal that they use for these damn medals, these fake medals, is stolen. It's stolen in the first place. Where do you think they get these resources from? Of course, our colonized nations. And I also want to look into the future a bit, and see how these whack performances affect colonized people, not just in Japan, but over here in the snakes as well. These events are literally used to increase funding for policing. Like, it's a disguise for us to voluntarily give our resources for this whack show. That's, who's gonna win? These colonizers. They obsessed with it, and it's just like, nah, that's no. I'm okay with that. No pig funds.
So good at it. Okay.
Nah, yeah, these comments got me dead, y'all. Thank you. But yes, let's go ahead and just to talk some smack and end this little segment, refill me. The US be winning the most medals, but how'd that work? It's always the colonized people that win these medals for MASTA, just for colonizer nations to pat themselves on the back. And it's like, nah. One last thing. The name Olympics, y'all, that's a lame ass name. That's whack. Like, we're gonna come up with something better in Hammer City. We're gonna have what suggestions you got, Comrade Heiran, for a name?
The Hammer City Games?
It's a little rough. We can
definitely brush that up, but it'll be
we're coming up with something. But let's go ahead and move it. We staying in Asia. We moving over to Sri Lanka. See what's up, what's going on over there. Right, gonna go ahead and wait for that. Yes. All right, Sri Lanka suffers through colonial disaster as tanker sinks and leaks oil, harmful chemicals, and plastic. The Express Pearl began to sink on June 2nd after a fire broke out on board. The ship was laden with chemicals and has been described as Sri Lanka's worst marine ecological disaster. Authorities have banned fishing in the area as dead turtles wash ashore and beaches are littered with tons of plastic as well as plastic bags. Satellite images are already showing the slick of oil in the ocean leaking off of the damaged part of the ship. So let's go ahead and give some background and hit this target hard right here. So fire broke out after some acid in the tanker started leaking, causing a fire which took like 13 days to put out. And as you can see, the ship completely sunk. Is looking like the U.S. right now. They're not looking too hot. They sinking into oblivion. It ain't looking too hot. So and Sri Lankan environmentalists are actually suing the government right now, as well as the operators, for failing to prevent this complete disaster. Which Sri Lanka recognizes as the worst marine disaster in the country's history. Y'all, we got to realize that all of these marine disasters or environmental disasters are literally what the colonizer has been doing for 600 years. Is the same thing. Is in 2016, the country was so in debt. Sri Lanka was so in debt that it had to get bailed out by the IMF and the International Monetary Fund. And you already know what happens when you accept a loan from the IMF. If you haven't heard, you literally bend your back over and let these colonizers take all of your resources. And that's exactly what's going on. Well, what did this tanker have? All of these resources, not for the people, of course, for these colonizers, and they sell out. And I also want to touch on this environmentalism, right? There's a quote by Chico Mendes, a Brazilian that worked tirelessly for the people and our greatest comrade, Mother Earth. He said something like, environmentalism without class struggle is just gardening. And that hits right there. That hits right here. But you feel me? The Black Hammer, we take that a step further. We say that any efforts to change the system without an anti-colonial lens, without looking and viewing the world through an anti-colonial lens, it's not. It's just charity, and like Chico Mendes said, it's just gardening. It ain't gonna do anything for our people because it's worthless if they're not actively giving the people the tools to liberate themselves, and not just themselves from this hell that is the dictatorship of colonizers and sellouts, but they lands, everything that was theirs in the first place. I'm popping off. I'll go ahead and send it to you, Comrade Hayden. What you think about this?
I'm back, Chief Cheen. Thank you for the flawless political analysis. No, but it's true. Sri Lanka is experiencing one of the worst ecological disasters in its history. It's horrifying and it's tragic. And not only was there acid and leaked oil that was coming out of this tanker, there was also like millions of these tiny little plastic packing pellets, and they're washing up on Sri Lanka's beautiful, perfect beaches by the millions. It just looks like snow, but it's not. It's like plastic snow. It's covering the beaches. All sorts of wildlife is currently consuming these pellets. It's devastating. The photos are devastating. The cleanup will be immense. And moreover, so importantly, the fishing communities along that coast, these fishing communities have had their livelihoods utterly destroyed and stripped from them without any warning, without any kind of even like awareness of, like that there were such massive tankers, potentially going down near them. They are rightfully furious with the government for allowing this disaster to occur, for the government's ill preparation and management around this failure. And the government is also now avoiding full accountability. And we absolutely at Black Hammer unite with these fishing communities as they struggle to hold their government accountable and work and fight back for their livelihoods. They deserve enormous amounts of reparation. They deserve so much more. Okay, Chief, I guess that's the end of one segment. Where are we going next?
All right, y'all, we heading over to across the seas. We heading out of Asia and into Pachamama, or what these colonizers call South America or Latin America. Don't make no sense. Make it make sense for me. Indigenous uprisings from Colombia to Brazil, neo-colonial sellouts will be wiped out. The sellouts in the colonized nations of Brazil and Colombia continue their violence on the indigenous and colonized people of their nations, as pigs continue to massacre innocents. Colombia initially rose up against tax reform bills, but are now protesting against the sellout and power himself, Ivan Duque, or what we like to call him, Ivan Duque. The little emoji right there, see it? All right, we go into Brazil as well, some neighboring countries. It's the same situation there. Heavily armed pigs have murdered 28 people in Rio de Janeiro's largest favela, Jacarezinho, one of the city's largest colonized communities, in what was a supposed anti-narcotics raid. This came despite the Brazilian Supreme Court's orders prohibiting such raids. As well, during the pandemic, residents have been seen grenades exploding, as well as corpses lying in corridors, multiple bullet holes in doors, and blood-soaked mattresses in the hallways. Not a very pretty picture, of course, but that's the material reality we colonized people live. And it's a sad one, but we overturned that. Love it. Y'all got me dying. We're talking about the murderous sellout governments of Brazil and Colombia, but before we get into that, I'm self-critical because I don't think we've really covered what a sellout really is just yet. So let's overturn that contradiction right now. Our third principle of unity stated, as y'all saw clearly, that colonialism and neocolonialism the submissive neo-colonialists that are in our nation, they are at the root of all problems we face as colonized people. A neo-colonial sellout is literally just white power in blackface, brown face, Asian face, white power disguised to look like you, a colonized person. And this situation over here in Colombia and Brazil is literal proof of our principle of unity. It is literal proof, and it's clear as day now. All right, now that we know what a sellout is, let's dive into Ivan Duque and the literal genocide that he be committing against his people. Did y'all know the pigs in Colombia are directly trained by the United Snakes? In 1999, Bill Clinton launched Plan Colombia, which militarized Colombia's pigs in order to counter drug cartels and eliminate left-wing insurgency. In total, the United Snakes sent $9 billion in aid over to the terrorist sellout government of Colombia, as 10,000 social leaders have been killed, 6,000 having been disappeared or murdered by the state. And let's take those numbers with a grain of salt, y'all. You know how they be lying to us with these numbers. But to touch on the ground in today's age, on Wednesday, May 12th, political activist Lucas Villa, who was only 37, was declared dead a week after having been shot 8 times at a peaceful protest. The situation isn't at all very different from what's going on in Brazil either. Sellout, different nation. Same sellout, different nation. Where this sellout is Jair Bolsonaro. He is currently in power and backed by the US government, of course, committing the same acts of violence on the colonized people of Brazil under the fake excuse of stopping narcotics. What's worse is that this raid literally took place even after the Brazilian Supreme Court prohibited raids during the pandemic. And it just goes to show how white power and sellout governments literally do not care about you in any shape, way, or form. Don't matter about these laws, these whack BS laws. It's the same BS excuse that Colombia used to burn countless acres of land that were supposedly suspected of drug growing, and to kill the revolutionaries taking up arms against the sellout government that's genociding them. The colonized masses are literally forced to undertake these illegal activities due to the material conditions that the colonizer makes for us, y'all. It's all pinned against us. Sad as heck, y'all. Sad as heck.
Chief, that was so flawless. I could not have said that any better. I completely unite. It is sad as heck. And we cannot speak about state violence and the people's uprisings in Colombia without, talking further about Plan Colombia. The Colombian people really do deserve full accountability and reparations from the U.S. government for this terror that the U.S. facilitated and funded over the past 20 years. The tankers, the air fighter jets, the bombs, the artillery, the weaponry, all of that has been funded by the U.S. in Colombia. All of that is being used as for state repression, as their people are getting crushed by these right wing violence. Like you have no one else to blame really but the U.S. after having funded so much money into countering drug cartels. Like, the idiots in America are literally the reason why that supply for the demand for those substances are so damn high. Control your own disgusting frat boys that are rotting away in the halls of Wharton instead of funding right-wing militia overseas. The US has no idea what they're doing. And of course, it was the biggest failure. This plan was a massive failure, and none of their goals that they put up before, they didn't meet any of them, because ultimately they want this. This was just a way to crush out left-wing insurgents in that country and to terrorize its people. The US is worthless. And speaking of the US sowing destruction in various parts of Pachamama, I want to move on to our second topic.
Real quick before we do, though, I don't want to edit on the such a sad as heck note, right?
Oh, right.
The people of Colombia are literally rising up against all of this violence, y'all. This state violence. They rising up, and they're gonna take the land back soon enough. It is coming. Like we mentioned, it's gonna come one of these days. And if you want to be a part of that movement, that revolution, and if you want to be a leader of your people, to lead your communities, your hood, join Black Hammer today, y'all. Go ahead and hit that. Go ahead and head over to blackhammer.org/join and join us and be that leader that your people need and deserve. All right, now we can go ahead and move to the next section.
Thank you for ending it on that lighter note. Thank you. No, of course, the land will be restored and it will be given back. They will be taken back. So none other than Kamala, as we are going to drag her now. The United Snakes terrorizes colonized people at the US-Mexican border. What is happening at the border right now is unfathomably despicable. They are using the most diabolical, creepy, and invasive technology to collect biometric data from the indigenous people who are traveling rightfully within their native land. Thousands of indigenous people are being detained at this fake border and terrorized. Kamala's message to the indigenous people of Turtle Island and Pachamama is despicable and self-serving, only proving her incompetency as not only a leader, but as a human being. So, this Kamala visited Guatemala and Mexico last week to deliver a chilling and insulting message. These terse words, frankly, should have ruined her entire career, but that's not how it works. This cop dared to address the people, the indigenous people who are considering this journey to the border, and told them, "Don't come, don't come. You will be turned back. We will turn you back." And why is this journey so perilous in the first place again, Kamala? Is it not because of the evil genocidal nation you lead and that has spent billions to destabilize the Central American region and profit from this implanted disruption? Is it not because the US has facilitated plunder and exploitation in that very region by multinationals and local elites? Is it not because the US has made sure in every single way that this journey will be horrifying and will be dangerous and will be lethal? It is appalling. At this border, there is a massive series of AI surveillance, data-driven tech, and such as cameras and thermotech and X-rays, smart computers that are all being used to analyze and capture and control these indigenous people at the border. This is the idea of a smart border, and it was introduced in 2001 as a way to secure the border. And as of the last few months, its biometrics plan has been exponentially expanded. It is disgusting, and this really is just a lot of Western propaganda. Just bashes nations like China and the DPRK for their use of AI and tech to honestly control the COVID pandemic and to make sure that people are quarantining. But instead, what the US is doing with similar, if not creepier, tech at the border is terrorizing indigenous people. And this cannot continue. They're also using COVID as an excuse to jail these people and profit off of them at the border. Hundreds are detained and they have to be freed immediately. I'm just gonna end this topic with saying this. The fake borders of these illegitimate settler colonial states, they were slashed through this earth with the only intent to damage and to confine, to define, and to control. The people at the border have every right to travel because this is their land. This is the land of their ancestors, and they can move on it as they please. That is their God-given right. And we must call for a dissolution of this militarized border. We must call for a total dissolution of all militarized borders and the end of the settler colonial state model. Ultimately, Kamala is just a diseased mouthpiece of an even more decrepit settler state. She's not able to say anything beyond what the ruling members of this white power state command.
Yes, and the settler colonial state, and the only immigrants on these lands and many other lands is them colonizers, them white folk. Okay, y'all, let's get that straight first and foremost. I also got to plug in one of our upcoming events, y'all. Little shameless plug. It's happening on June 17th, called La Frontera Americana de Mexico. Es una prisión, or in the other colonizer language, English, because we be forgetting sometimes that both of them is colonizer language. These aren't our native tongues, y'all. The America/Mexico border is a prison. It's going to be a deeper dive into and discussion into what we just went over right now. All of these, this atrocity, this sickening gatekeeping of our own lands. These sellouts just Kamala, the epitome of selloutism. So let's go ahead and touch right back over on another section of the planet. We're going right back over to Los Angeles, heading over to the stolen lands of Turtle Island, y'all, aka America, and that's America with 3 Ks, the only way to spell it, y'all. Vaccines gonna save you. Vaccines ain't gonna save you. Let me repeat that second time. Vaccines ain't gonna save you. KN95s and Black Hammer will. Over 1,000 Angelinos have caught the Rona, despite having been fully jabbed, with 71 needing to be hospitalized and 12 of them actually dying. A new study states that over 1 million people, majority of them working class colonized people, of course, have perished in the pandemic. The CDC continues to be a worthless, deceitful organization that risks the lives of thousands of colonized people at the benefit of corporations, as the United Snakes continues to reopen all businesses and end mask mandates. Y'all, please wear your mask, okay? I don't care what the CDC say. Please wear your mask. There's a hammer near you, and they will provide you with PPE, not just KN95 masks, but other pieces of PPE, sanitizers, all of that good stuff, gloves, anything you need. A hammer is near you, a hood in a hood near you. So I want to say that first and foremost before anything. Wear your damn mask. And I want to go over some of the CDC guidelines for these jabbed up people, the people that end up getting the jab. You can resume activities that you did prior to the pandemic. You can resume activities without wearing a mask or staying 6 feet apart, except where there are federal, state, local, or territorial laws, all that. These laws, profits before laws, y'all. It don't matter. If you travel in the United Snakes, you do not need to get tested or after travel or self-quarantine after travel. And if y'all haven't heard yet, the CDC just announced that they will be holding an emergency meeting to discuss the cases of heart inflammation that have occurred after some have taken the mRNA vaccine jab. Fed will get me there. Heart inflammation, y'all. That's I'm good on that heart inflammation. I just want to be clear that Black Hammer is not anti-jab. We are materialists, meaning we are scientific above all else. We are scientific about everything we do. That includes not trusting a genocidal settler government that has let over 1 million people perish, die, while hoarding these jabs in the first place. Like, we have been able to guard all of our members in the organization against the Rona, and by following these PPE guidelines, and we have those on our website, which you can go ahead and check out at blackhammer.org. So it's really all a facade, a lie. We got to look behind the curtain, see what's truly going on, and it ain't even that hard. They doing it themselves, y'all. They doing it themselves. It's whack. It's pretty sad, but. What you thinking here, Comrade Hiran?
Oh, no, exactly, Chief. They will literally do anything to colonize people to make sure that their businesses can open and their economy can be fully flourishing again. It is BS. It is so insulting. I am so infuriated with the CDC and all the BS that they've been spewing out, putting our lives at risk. We know that these numbers are so skewed. These days, it does seem like all the cases have plummeted, but we know that they aren't counting. We know that they're undercounting. They have been since the very beginning of this pandemic. And the fact of the matter is, people are getting COVID afterwards. We look at the statistics, just the information about these vaccines, and depending on how severe the COVID is, most of these vaccines only prevent 90% of severe symptoms, moderate symptoms. But first of all, that's probably not even true. And second of all, there's so many people who are still getting COVID after this vaccine. 7 people on the Yankees team, the New York Yankees team, contracted COVID all at once, all after being vaccinated. This is happening all over the place. And the side effects for these jabs are just going up. We have the heart inflammation, we have blood clots. When does it end? I'm good on those too. I really would rather not take a jab from the government that has actively not cared about my entire well-being for my entire life, actively tried to genocide me, actively tried to genocide all poor colonized people in its fake borders.
I wanted to say real quick, I totally forgot. How could I forget? They offering us lotteries, y'all. Literal lotteries. Money for taking these jabs, y'all. These jabs that don't even protect us against the Rona. And if that don't tell you something right there, then it's all a whole act. It's so sad. Again, profits over lives, and of course, so the colonizers can continue pillaging our lands, taking our labor, lives, resources. Our lives don't matter to them. So PPE up, and have a hammer in your hood deliver that PPE to you for free. Where are we heading to next now, Comrade Hayden? We're going over
Chief, I
to.
believe that we are heading over to Africa.
Oh,
Yes. So for our third segment, we're heading to Africa, to the shores of what is now called Cape Town in Azania, aka South Africa. Amazon is trying to colonize Africa. Yes, they are. It is creepy as heck. Amazon is planning to build their Africa HQ in so-called Cape Town upon the land where Dutch colonizers first invaded in the 1650s. The area is becoming heavily gentrified as Amazon continues its international conquest to exploit every nation possible while combating Chinese plans to build infrastructure in that region. In 1510, 500 years ago, the Khoi and the San people witnessed this onslaught of diseased, flea-bitten Portuguese settlers arriving on their land, where these settlers tried to steal their cattle and failed. Pathetic. The Khoi and San were victorious in crushing them entirely and keeping them away from their land for many, many years. However, in the 1560s, it was the filthy Dutch settlers who invaded this coast and began their first horrible campaign of land theft and dispossession. And now, in 2021, it is none other than Amazon who wishes to construct their African headquarters on this exact piece of land. Local organizers are forbidding Amazon from beginning construction. One organizer says, the threat of the monolith of Amazon on the embankments of our most sacred floodplains will not be accepted by our community. This is the place where the first frontier wars were fought. And that's true. It's such a sacred land. It means so much to the local people. And the area is already extremely gentrified. And with Amazon's new development, there'll be new hotels, there'll be retail spaces, there'll be offices. It will be disgusting. Azania has been pillaged and divided by Western forces throughout its history. And its people deserve immediate and absolute sovereignty over its land. We must support all colonized people worldwide who are resisting this imperialism. We must support the people who live around this area of so-called Cape Town to make sure that Amazon stays far, far away. We know that Amazon is trying to, encroach upon these territories, trying to put up a fight against China's dominance in the area, China's aid to the area, building jobs, building infrastructure, developing jobs. But Amazon is not so benevolent whatsoever, and we know that very well. Their intentions, the U.S. and Chinese intentions in the African region, are very, very different and cannot be compared because their histories are different, their goals are different, what they want is completely different. What the U.S. wants is money at the expense of everything. What China wants is a way to counter the U.S. Aggression and to also do its best to foster colonized unity. It's a very, very different situation. What do you think about this, Chief Chim?
You hit that target. You did hit that target pretty hard. That was beautifully said, Comrade Iran. But yes, a lot of people I know work that plantation. Amazon is one of the biggest plantation, if not the biggest. They straight up not only are they trying to colonize Africa, they trying to colonize space, yo. I don't know if y'all heard Jeff Bezos. Shout out to the comment that Jeff Bezos trying to go to space with his brother, and I hope that it crash. I hope it crash. I think a lot of us can hope that have that same sentiment. But yeah, that's one of the things about Jeff Bezos, right? He ain't gonna stop. So it's up to the colonized masses and our comrades over at land back. What was it? We have comrades over there, and they ain't gonna let that slip up. Thank you. Black first, land first. Thank you. My dyslexia, it be hitting. My bad. But yes, they're not gonna struggle. They're not gonna go down without a struggle, and they're gonna get the masses to rise up and realize their leadership as well. Of course, and that's our fourth principle of unity hitting right there. That we are the colonized. We, the colonized masses, are the leadership of the revolution, not these white leftists, none of these white led orgs. None of these white led orgs are going to get us nowhere. DSA, who? PISA, who? Black Hammer. That's right. It's going to be Black Hammer to liberate the colonized masses. So let's continue fighting. And if you want to fight alongside us and our comrades around the world, go ahead and join blackhammer.org/join, of course, and be that leader your people need. Let's go ahead and move on to our next section. we staying in Africa? I think we staying in Africa. We heading over to the Tigray region, over in Ethiopia. Conflict in the Tigray region. The people of Tigray are experiencing famine, drought, and more suffering as conflicts within the region worsen. It is estimated that there are around 350,000 people in Ethiopia's Tigray going through famine. 7 months of fighting has been taking place, with many war crimes being reported as well. Tigray has been experiencing all of the suffering, and you want to know why? It's that neocolonialism again, that third principle of unity hidden. Just because, if y'all didn't know, actually, Ethiopia hasn't been colonized. They've never been colonized, but that's not to say that neocolonialism hasn't been plaguing them this whole time. And that's exactly what's going on. It's that neocolonialism. They've been the Tigray region has been in conflict with the Amhara peoples, and neither leadership has been able to center the colonized masses first and foremost, which is what a true revolutionary leader, a servant of the masses, someone dedicated to the people, should have first and foremost in their minds, taking the self out of the center and the masses always at the center. The Tigray People's Liberation Front was a truly revolutionary organization, but degraded into petty boo politicians. And it's exactly an example of what happens when the population doesn't take up and realize their leadership within the revolution. The region is going through all of this suffering, and it's literally because we need to follow that second principle of unity that says we are all equal, no matter all colonized proletariat are equal. All colonized proletariat are equal, regardless of whatever differences we have. It don't matter. We gotta unite and recognize our common enemy, the parasites in our nation, or the colonizers in our nation. Whichever one, we gotta get them out. And we gotta bring in that world where no one lives at the expense of another. This famine is so sad to hear, and that's exactly why Black Hammer calls out these sellouts, calls out not just the colonizers, the white people, but these sellouts who continue to work for white power. And it's just not only is it sad, but it agitates me enough to be a leader of the people. So things are only going to get worse as climate change continues to worsen, because of course these sellouts, colonizers, they don't give a damn, of course. But what you thinking, Heran? What you thinking about these petty boo sellouts? Not the petty, yes, Chief Yabe, exactly right. Not these petty boo politicians.
Absolutely, Chief Chim. I completely unite. I do also believe that the Tigray Liberation Front did begin as a good socialist left-leaning organization, but has failed its people and has not centered its people, and continues to engage in conflicts without making sure that their people are surviving. The U.S. is doing its very best to crawl into this situation and mess things up as usual. Not only they're trying to send humanitarian aid into the area, but they're doing it under very restrictive conditional terms, and they're also imposing sanctions on certain areas. They're trying to do that strategically, but we know that does not work, and the only people who are going to suffer from that are literally the colonized masses on the ground. The U.S. has no care for them and continue to be useless, and they must step out of this situation, this conflict in the region, of course. And yeah.
Yes, thank you for that beautiful input, Comrade Heran. Yeah, it's exactly right. And y'all, these 4 principles of unity, they lead our organization and everything we do here. So go ahead and visit us. Go ahead if you want to review them again, because they're so beautiful. They're beautiful, honestly. Such a beautiful material analysis, an accurate one at that. And join us. Fall under that. Unite with those 4 principles of unity and be the leader that won't sell out your people, that won't cause those famines, those famines. Not to scare y'all, but it ain't gonna be so comfy for long here. So let's start preparing. Let's start building for that. Speaking of building for that, for the people, let's go ahead and go into, I believe it is our fundraising call. Let's go ahead and bring that slide up. What's up? Y'all got more money? Y'all got get? I want y'all to dig in those pockets. Y'all got pennies? What's up? Again, y'all got weak money. Y'all can donate to the liberation of all colonized people.
Was this show informative? Was it exciting? What do y'all want to see differently? If it was exciting, if it did, get you a little bit thinking, please drop a little bit more into this Cash App, into our Venmo, into the comments, please. Thank you so much. I cannot wait to be free. I cannot wait to show our people that this freedom is possible and that a sufficient and safe, autonomous, anti-colonial world is going to work, and it will be so, so gorgeous. It's possible to have total autonomy over your body, over our lives, and to live in harmony with each other in these abolitionist communities, to live in harmony with the land by combining this new tech and traditional indigenous methods of sufficient production. I can't wait. What are y'all excited about? What are you excited about, Chief Chim? What are you the most excited about?
I want to be chilling, growing some tomato plants. You feel me? And before I became a revolutionary, I wanted to be a petty boo jazz artist. So I'm gonna be teaching my people jazz, how to jazz it up, or whatever style of music. I love all music. I can't discriminate. That's our second principle of unity coming through again. Whether that's banda for my indigenous people over here in Turtle Island, or death metal. I'll teach you it all. So free lessons for the people. All of it's for the people. And yeah, that's what I want to do. What about you, Comrade Elon?
Oh my God, that image that you just planted in my head is so beautiful, Chief Chim. I did not know that you are an aspiring jazz musician or once were. I'm sure that all those talents are still there and that you can unleash them when you get onto that beautiful liberated land. We can be chilling, listening to jazz. I see it. Personally, Chief, I'm excited for the food. I'm really excited for the food production. I will be in that kitchen. I'll be whipping it up every single day, whatever y'all need. Y'all want Korean today? Y'all want ramen tomorrow? Y'all want, raised pork the next day? You want I mean, honestly, I have quite a repertoire and I'm trying to expand, and I would really like to really. Yeah. I'm excited for that. I'm excited for growing. I'm excited to build my own house. It's really going to be everything that I've ever wanted in this life. And
yes,
please, slide that.
That's what's up. If y'all want to bring this liberation even closer, not just by donating, of course, come right for the Black Hammer Times, y'all. This is how we agitate the people, how we inform our people with true information that doesn't lie to them or leave them in the dark, giving them all this terrible information that just kind of, leaves us depressed. We need to do something about it. And that is one of those things. Writing for the Black Hammer Times. So come join us. Come join the revolution. Join us at blackhammer.org/join and go ahead and get that freedom. Come get your freedom over here at Black Hammer, because ain't nobody gonna give it to you. Ain't no one gonna give it to you. And if y'all are tired of all the BS, if y'all are tired of going to the plantation, why not work for the people? We are working for literally working for white power and these sellouts, and it ain't cutting it for me. It stopped cutting it for me a long time ago. I realized some things, and that do be depressing. So come into this revolutionary space. And again, I want to thank you all for these donations. Y'all came through. Really appreciate all of the donations. Y'all gonna make me cry. I'm gonna cry on screen. I can't do it.
Thank you so much. I keep seeing these donations, these numbers popping up on the screen. I am so ecstatic. Thank you so, so much. I hope we raised our goal. We'll get back to you. But yes.
I think we might. I think we did. I think all the supporters, again, one more big thank you for the liberation of alcohol. Oh, we still got another one, Shagun. Thank you so much. Them $10 going a long way.
Oh, it does.
Now you could have bought yourself a chicken sandwich. So we appreciate that. We truly do appreciate that. I want to thank all of you who stuck through to the end and donated, of course, and give y'all a revolutionary salute if y'all stuck through the whole way to the end. But let's go ahead. We're not done yet. We're not quite done yet. We almost there. So stick with us. We got some announcements for y'all. We're gonna tell you about all the lit shows and events we be hosting. So first up is the Revolutionary Book Trap every Sunday, coming up on June 13th at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Is it 6 p.m. or a.m.? But yes, the Revolutionary Book Trap with our hosts, Chief Fatih and Chief Ade, who really be laying it down with Samora Michaels and African Revolutionary. We read in chapters 7 through 10, and y'all don't sleep on this political education, y'all. This is They be dropping gems left and right. Fatih and Ade, they be beautiful music to my ears with these beautiful analyses. And we're not just staying stuck in history, right? We actually apply it to our material reality today and learn from what happened then. So join us then on Sunday, every Sunday. What's up next? What's our next?
Yes, every Monday we got our Oh My Ghazi show hosted by our very own Commander-in-Chief Ghazi. Honestly, this show is such a close second to me compared to the Tuesday rally. I love the show so much. It's Ghazi and the girls, it's Ghazi and the girlies. They're all there. You know, it switches up a bit. You see some different faces. It's a really fun time. Everyone's just kind of, you know, talking about they talk about like current events, like mostly Turtle Island based. We got celebrity news. We got international. We've got a little bit of international news, a little bit of Turtle Islands news. It's jam packed. It's full of brilliant analysis. Y'all should all be there. This is definitely a must. Yes, and that's gonna be the next one's coming up on June 14th in just like 3 days, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Be there. It is an amazing time.
Don't sleep on it, y'all. And before I get into this announcement, this excited one, I want to be self-critical. I need to correct myself. It's actually the book trap is actually at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So again, that's 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go ahead and join us then. But next announcement, La Frontera Americana de México es una prisión, aka the America/Mexico border is a prison panel. That's going to be on Thursday, June 17th, with our brilliant indigenous comrades and chiefs, Chief Michli, Chief Jucha, Solimar, Sergeant Bear, Chief Kiyabe, and Chief Amalicha. Y'all, they gonna kill it. I know. I'm really excited for this event. That's actually happening again, June 17th, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So don't miss that. Don't miss that wonderful, brilliant conversation that's going to take place. So join us then.
Oh my God, it's happening again. It's happening every week. This is now, you know, a regular show. We got the second episode coming up this Friday, June 18th, 8 p.m. Eastern time. We're taking, you know, some suggestions for new topics. We're trying out some new things. You can see that our production value on our season premiere is kind of a big deal. And we're really hoping to keep up this level of quality and hard hits in the next episode. Want us to hit harder, you know, let us know what we can do. We're open to feedback, but yeah, I'm really excited for this, and it's gonna be great.
All right. Oh, and if you's a colonizer, if you's a saltine, a white cracker, go ahead and join our reparations corps. Pay up for the genocide in your name, the bombs and drones in your name, and fall under the leadership of that true proletariat, the true poor working class people of the world that actually are being exploited. Not y'all ain't oppressed. Don't give me that BS excuse. Y'all is oppressed too. That's absolute BS. So join our reparations corps and actually bring about change. Aren't you tired of all these white-led organizations that don't do garbage for anyone? It's real sad, but yeah. Join our reparations corps and fall under the leadership of colonized people. And of course, go ahead, Idan.
Oh, and yes, join Black Hammer today. We are truly the baddest ones in the game right now, in the anti-colonial game. And if you agreed with the messages that and the analyses that we are giving here, this is really where it's at. And we're going to lay down these analyses from now on for every single event that happens in this future. We will make sure that our masses have a news source to listen to that will give them the no BS, the hard lines, and that these colonial news networks, they're trying to terrify us and to solidify the US's power as the world's morally superior superpower. That is complete farce, and we know that. We will break that down. The empire is crumbling, and it's happening here in Black Hammer, and it is really happening in Black Hammer Times. So again, join Black Hammer, join Black Hammer Times. And
yes, and again, I want to say a big thank you. And
we also reached our fundraising goal. I wonder if you're gonna. Oh, not yet. Okay.
Oh, let's go ahead and before we do that, let's go ahead and before we end the show, we got it lagged out a bit for me. Self-critical, y'all. Join the baddest anti-colonial news outlet out there, Black Hammer Times, y'all. We need revolutionary writers. But if writing ain't your thing, that's okay. We got a spot for you on the team. We have some web department roles, PR roles. So go ahead visit Black Hammer or email us at bhtimes@protonmail.com. So don't sleep on your liberation. Right for us, right for the people, for the people. All right, now we can get into how much we raised, y'all. Y'all ready? I need like a little drum roll or something. I'm good. Okay, we raised $336, y'all. That's for our liberation. That's all you. And it's going back to the people, to our liberation, not just ours, all colonized people around the world. And like I said, like I mentioned earlier on, we ain't stopping at one Hammer City. So just stay tuned for what's coming. And again, thank you so much. And I think we can go ahead and get off the land now. Land back, y'all, again. Thank you, y'all. Land back.